When we're talking about Docker, one of the first things that comes into mind is the difference between entry points and commands. So how does these things behave? Let's take a look at that. I have a Docker file right here, and we basically just use Ubuntu at latest. And we have this command sleep and 2 right here, right? So let's just build this image with the tag of sleeper at latest. Here's the Docker file. All right, we have it built. Now let's run using the /rm to remove this container once it exits, and then just call our sleeper at latest, right? And all right, so far so good. It slept for 2 seconds. So let's just make a quick change here. Let's change it to maybe 4. All right, let's just rebuild it. Okay, it's rebuilt. And let's run it again. And we should expect the 4 seconds of sleeping, right? And so far so good. It actually took 4 seconds of sleeping. But what if we're gonna run this, but we try to kind of override this using the arguments? So sleep 3. Let's see how it behaves, right? All right, it slept for 3 seconds. And that's something you have to keep in mind. The command, it's always overridable, right? So you can always override that. I could even, like, there's the sleep, I could echo hello world, for instance. And that would echo hello world, not sleeping at all, and then just exit, right? All right, so I'm saying that if I have this right here, I can always override. But what if I actually just wanted to pass the argument as the unit, the seconds? I could just use entry point like that and sleep. And yeah, I could add more things right here, but the command is basically just sleep and the number. So for this case, I'll have this right here. And let's try again. Of course, I'm going to have to rebuild it. And once it's rebuilt, let me just refresh things right here. Let's try and run that, but with just the number. So 1 second of sleeping. All right, it seems like it did. Let me just try it again. All right, it did. 2 seconds maybe. All right, I did 2 seconds because I wanted that node right here. So another goal, just 4 seconds, just so we are sure that this is being obeyed. And yeah, that's the case. So if I try something like the echo hello word here, should it work or shouldn't? Let's take a look. Oh, and you see that we got these errors from the sleep command. Invalid time interval echo, invalid time interval hello world. Because yeah, of course, we set the entry point to be the executable sleep. So everything we pass as arguments should be arguments to that executable. Got the situation right now. So if we do another change to the Docker file, and instead of sleep, we use echo, for instance, right? And of course, we need to rebuild that image. But if we do that again, and we pass, for instance, 2, we're going to just echo the number, 4. We're going to just echo the number 4. And if we do the same thing for like hello world, we're just going to have a hello world. And that applies to a list of arguments because echo supports a list of arguments different from sleep, right? So 1, 2, and 3, and we're going to echo 1, 2, and 3, right? Because now we're passing that to the executable entry point, which is now echo. So that's basically the difference. But there's a catch. Look, if we have a Docker file, and let's get back to sleep right here. So everything that I pass should be an argument to that sleep entry point. But what if I want a default value to be sent? So there's multiple ways of doing that. If you're using Dockerfile, for instance, you could use args like that right here and just use this argument like full with the default value, for instance. But the quickest way to do is that you can use both at the same time. And I'm going to do that this way because I want you to actually understand that both of these could basically coexist with no problems at all. So here I use sleep as the executable entry point for that container, but the command will always be the first, the default value to be run within that command, within that container if arguments are not passed. So let's have a default value of 4, as you're seeing that. Let's rebuild everything we have right now. And first things first, I want to try another value. So I'll place 2 right here. Remember the default value was 4. So if I try running with 2, all right, we slept with for 2 seconds, right? But if I pass 4 right here, then we're going to sleep for 4 seconds. And last but not least, if I try something like hello world, you see we'll get an obvious error because sleep wouldn't receive hello and word as argument. So that's the basic differentiation between these two commands. Hope you like it.